स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। यथाग्नेर्दाहिका शक्ति रामकृष्णे स्थिताय सर्वविद्यास्वरूपां तां शारदां प्रणमाम्यहम्। नमः श्रीयतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ओम्। तेजोऽसि तेजोमयि देहि वीर्यमसि वीर्यं मयि देहि बलमसि बलं मयि देहि ओजोऽसि ओजो मयि देहि मन्युरसि मन्यं मयि देहि सहोऽसि सहो मयि देहि। Now selfless universal prayer. All of you can repeat for yourself with full concentration, devotion, focus, sympathy, and thinking of the good of others. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। सर्वस्तरतु दुर्गाणि, सर्वो भद्राणि पश्यतु, सर्वः सद्बुद्धिमाप्नोतु, सर्वः सर्वत्र नन्दतु। दुर्जनः सज्जनो भूयात्, सज्जन शान्तिमाप्नुयात्, शान्तो मुच्येत बन्धेभ्यो, मुक्तश्चान्यान् विमोचयेत्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ओम्। May all be happy, may all be peaceful, may all be free from difficulties, free from dangers, free from diseases. May all see what is good. May all listen what is good. May all speak what is good. May all do what is useful to others. May all attain wisdom everywhere. May all be healthy everywhere. May all be peaceful everywhere. Think of the people in your family: mother, father, brother, sister, wife, husband, relatives, your neighbors, your office colleagues, people known to you, people unknown to you, in the city, state, country, in the whole world, in the east, west, north, south, all over the place, all over the country, all over the world. Think of the people in the government hospitals. Think of our brothers and others in the sisters in the private hospitals, or who are quarantined at home, who are having some symptoms, who are having some fear. May all get your greetings, get your good wishes. ॐ asato ma satgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amrutangamaya. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Mentally, please offer your salutations, namaskaram, pranams to the all-pervading blissful spirit. In any name or form you worship, you like, your Ishtadevata or the Paramatman or the Parabrahman. Now I request all of you to offer pranams to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother Sri Sharda Devi, and Swami Vivekananda, and all great rishis, great teachers who are in every part of the world. May those great teachers, great realized souls, bless all of us to attain the ultimate truth. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Okay, once again, namaste to everybody. Very good evening, Shubha Sandhya, Susandhya. And Bhanu Prakash ji, why are you doing Shirsasanam? Your camera is reverse. Bhanu Prakash Patel is disturbing us. Don't keep moving it. You are doing Shirsasanam, sir. Again, it is ulta. Reverse हो गया क्यों? कैमरा सीधा रखिए. Those who are hiding behind the camera, please come forward. Be bold. Let me see some of you. That should not be everyday announcement, is it not? Like school children. Grown-up people, be bold. Wear a clean, neat dress and sit in front of the camera with school uniform, like your like your school boys and girls at home. Be bold. We want to see you, sir. Today, 4th day. Who is Aditya? Who is Anusuya? Who is Vallabh? Who is Karthik? At least for photo's sake, please. Hitisha, Vaishnavi, Atharva, Dutt, Jwalin, Pratima. So don't be afraid. This is not commercial course. This is Ramakrishna Math, Human Excellence Institute. Okay. So I'll show you something interesting which I received today morning. Based on our traditions and our mantras and tantras and the scientific effect on our body, the changes that will happen in our throat, in our breathing system, how this corona effect can be reduced. Okay, it is all, though we want data, we want America to prove, we want America, Harvard University to tell us what is right, what is wrong. That is not necessary. Our great sages, our great rishis have done a lot of experiment in health, have done a lot of experiment in meditation. After that only the world evolved. It was all Sanatana Dharma, right? So it is a very important video, just 4 or 5 minutes. One of the yoga teachers in Australia is telling about the power of the Om during the COVID times. So it is a self-explanatory video. First listen to that, then we'll chant the Omkar a few times, and you also can practice at home tonight, tomorrow morning. Family together can do, so that the atmosphere, the vibrations, this one will be very, very good at home. And those who are affected, those who are in recovering, those who need not, who are having some symptoms, or those who don't have symptoms, all of you can participate you can spread this message all over the city, state, country, world. And look at the video, listen to the video, message there, very important. And then we will continue the class. Okay.
Hari Om.
I'm just sharing the screen with you for a minute. Okay.
Hari Om.
Are you able to see the screen? Sunita ji, are you able to see the
Apps
screen?
are audible, but
Huh?
the video we cannot see.
Video you cannot see. Okay. First we have to open the video.
Hari Om.
Hello. Okay. Now is it okay? Hello, Mahesh?
No, Maharaj, it is the same. We can see the downloads, videos, all the videos.
Okay. Stop share. Open now.
Hari Om. I'm Gandhar Mani.
Now okay?
Yes, Maharaj, we can see it.
Yeah. I request all the participants to be alert and go through the 5-minute video carefully.
Yoga organization called Yoga Vidya Gurukul. And I'm also a PhD student in Faculty of Medicine at the University of Sydney in Australia. The COVID-19 outbreak, pandemic all over the world, everyone is trying to find some solutions. Recently, a Canada-based company called Sanotize brought a nasal spray of nitric oxide in the market. A clinical trial in United Kingdom indicated that this nitric oxide nasal spray is very effective in getting rid of the virus from the nasal passage. Within 24 hours of the application of this spray, the virus goes down by 95%, and in 72 hours, the virus has shown to reduce by 99%. Now, this nitric oxide is produced by our body also. It's produced in the nasal passage. It's produced in the inner lining of our blood vessels. It has a role as antiviral, and also it plays a significant role in dilation of our blood vessels. It connects with the circulatory system and heart health. But more importantly, the role of nitric oxide in this COVID pandemic is interesting and important considering the clinical trial. Another study has also pointed out that if you are given nitric oxide, then it works in mild COVID infection or moderate or severe infection, where it reduces the severity, it improves the healing time, and also even if people are on ventilator, the nitric oxide is shown to improve the condition of the patient. Now, some other studies in the past have indicated that if we create humming sound, such as the sound of Brahmari, where you just create a humming sound, or the chanting of Om, even one sound can produce nitric oxide, which is 10 to 15 times more than the normal nitric oxide production in the nasal passage. Now, this is a very encouraging correlation. One study saying that the nitric oxides is very helpful in reducing the viral load, and the other study saying that the humming sound can produce nitric oxide. Of course, there is no clinical trial or there is no research yet on the direct application of Brahmari or Omkar on COVID, but we can still correlate these two. Now, this nitric oxide that is produced by humming doesn't remain for very long. So some other studies have pointed out, say 4 or 5 times or 6 times chanting of or creating that humming sound in the day to get rid of these bacteria and viruses. Now it's up to all of us to give it a try till a definitive evidence comes out of the clinical trials. So the suggestion is 10 to 15 minutes of Brahmari Pranayam, like humming sound, or Omkar in a day. And we certainly can assume that yes, it will create nitric oxide. So we all can try it. It's easy, doesn't involve any negative side effects. In fact, even if this nitric oxide theory that I've been discussing with you is not true, even if we assume that it's not true, the effects of Omkar and Brahmari Pranayam as anti-stress techniques is very well known. So even if you chant it 4 times, 5 times, it's certainly going to reduce the stress, and that's going to have a positive effect on our mind. And if the stress is not there, or if the stress is decreased, then immune system function certainly improves. This is well known. So I think there is no harm in trying out this wonderful positive techniques from yoga. Wish you all the best. Stay safe. Hari Om.
Okay, it's a very interesting, very applicable message given by our friend from Australia. So we will chant the Omkaram now at least 12 times. I will play this one. All of you sit straight and chant loudly. You listen to your own voice. Okay? And full concentration, have faith, have that determination that personally and collectively we shall be able to face the problem or the difficulties today. Slow breathing, peaceful breathing, please. Close your eyes and chant. Now 30 seconds of silence, but continue to repeat in the mind, within yourself. Feel the vibrations of the Om from the toe till the tip of your head. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Rub the palms of your hand nicely, everybody. And slowly rub your eyelids, forehead, and the face. The same system, please follow, please practice and practice with your family. Tonight, 10 minutes, 12 minutes, tomorrow morning, 5 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock, before 8 o'clock, please do that. Before your whole house and family, everybody becomes busy. So please practice all together or individual if you're alone. And like that in the afternoon or evening, it's like taking some vitamin tablets, and just like you take some tonics periodically, and spread this message that it will help. Be sure about it and practice it, and you gain the confidence, gain the devotion over our own traditions, our own mantras, whether it's the Gayatri mantra, Mahamrityunjay mantra, Shakti mantra, Rama Raksha mantra. So that is the vibrations, where it may not depend upon anybody else. So be good and stay safe, healthy, be strong, and develop your personality. Okay. Rajesh Jat, kya bol raha hai? Share the video among participants. Okay, we'll see. We'll try to send that video to you. Okay. So, my dear friends, today is the 4th day of this course. First day I gave outlines about understanding yourself, and Swami Vivekananda's this one of the personality, 2-3 quotations going on. Next is our sir, Vishwanatham sir, gave you a wide spectrum of why, what, how, the personality. Yesterday we had the police commissioner of Rachakonda talking to you about 5 C's to be practiced, to be acquired, 5 C's to be given up, etc., etc. All of you know it. Then today, 4th day, we have Mrs. Swati Ram, our devotee, our guest faculty, joining us live from Bangalore. She is there in front of us. So she will be giving the class. I suggested how to develop the personality by doing service. What service? IPS, IAS, or IFS, or some social help. So what is that seva that we are talking about? She is into service. She is into serving others. There is a beautiful organization in Bangalore, in Hyderabad, in Delhi, etc., called Youth for Seva. There is another organization called Tech for Seva, which is a subsidiary of that, and like that. They have students for Seva. They have teachers for Seva. So Swami Vivekananda said, remove the word help from your dictionary. Who are you to help? You can only serve God in man. Don't stand on a high pedestal and throw 5 rupees on a poor man and say, hey, poor man, take this dhanam. I'm giving you 5 rupees. That is arrogance. See, the God is there, Rogi Narayan, Murkha Narayan, Daridra Narayan. Let them be your gods. Let Mother India be your gods. And when you communicate with others, when you talk with others, when you serve others in a hospital, or in a school, or in an orphanage, or in some place under a tree, how much confidence you will get, how much love and affection you will get. How much of your growth will be there inside out? So it is not a personal thing, but we have to look at the whole nation. Swamiji said, love India. Vivekananda said, love India. 2 words. What does it mean? Is it buildings? Is it malls? Is it movies? Is it some Tom, Dick and Harry that I love? The spirit of India, the culture of India, the music of India, the meditation of India, personal and collective. So this is where we have to learn developing our personality through Seva. So Mrs. Swati Ram is into that field from many, many years, though she was in the corporate. She said there are people working for Infosys or for Wipro or for TCS, CTS, so many big companies are there, but it's all for some technical skill and some money and things like that. So she gave up that job and she is into a very beautiful organization now called Being Volunteer. She is into Youth for Seva and she has developed certain websites also, socially good, etc. So she served people in the Kumbh Mela times in Prayagraj and also during the Haridwar or Uttarakhand floods last time. Her experiences, her love for Swami Vivekananda are enormous from her childhood. Her entire family is dedicated to the Ramakrishna Math and mission. So on every course, she is with us. So our experience matters to you. Swati Ram, thank you coming from Bangalore. Yes, this is a wonderful audience, wonderful participation all over the country. I am myself, I'm surprised. There are people from Rajasthan, from Haryana, from Maharashtra, from Karnataka, from Tamil Nadu, from Hyderabad, Delhi. Who else? They were all there. Wonderful, 111 people. So a couple of them, due to networking, they might not have joined. They will get the link. And the platform is yours for the next 1 hour. Talk to them, inspire them, and put them on the path of developing their personality through Seva, etc. Whatever Swamiji is taught. Yes, Swati.
My humble pranams to start with at the holy feet of Bharat Mata, Divine Trio, and all my gurus, including Swami Bodhmayanandji. I think he told too many words, which he does every time. The truth is that I'm only a child of Ramakrishna Math, and people like Swamiji have brought me up. So whatever I've learned is an offering to them. I keep telling Swamiji many times as a joke that if I have to deliver a lecture elsewhere, I will listen to 5 lectures of both the Mayanandjis because I can just go tell those points. But the problem when he invites me is I have to wonder what should I say different than what he has already said. And I'm usually the Friday resource person in VIHE courses, which means a lot of wonderful experts and speakers have spoken before me. So it's an advantage, of course, because I can, you all have learned a lot. So all of you can tell me what you've learned. And it's also a disadvantage because I'm scared of what is it that I can really add as value. But thank you for being here again on a Friday. It's wonderful to see so many people from across India. I think one of the beautiful things about the pandemic is that it has brought all of us closer than ever before. And this is a wonderful opportunity, and hoping I don't have the curse of delaying your dinner by expanding further. I'm starting immediately. I just have a presentation so that you don't have to just see my face all through the thing. I'll take you through this, and I want it to be more interactive because most of the times these are things we have learned in our daily lives, but we fail to put them into perspective. The best thing that happened when I started getting into service is I met so many people all over India, saw different things, and they made me realize what personality is really about, what life is really about. So these are things each of you would have experienced on a daily basis. But it would probably not be very clear since we have not put into perspective. So let this be interactive. Please feel free to unmute yourself and talk whenever you can, share points, and we hope to finish it in the next 1 hour. Yeah. So personality development is a huge bouquet of activities. So we have to really understand what personality really means. So instead of telling a lot of words, I just thought we'll play a small game because it's also Friday. So I want you people to share your name. But before sharing your name, you have to prefix it with an adjective which defines what you really are, which defines your personality. Say for today, I'll say I am satisfied Swati. I'm satisfied with couple of things I could do, so I'm satisfied Swati. So anybody could go ahead. We'll just take 2-3 minutes for all of us to understand what aspects of personality we all usually think about. So what's your name? And prefix it with something starting with the first alphabet of name. Anybody? Passionate Prashant. Wonderful Prashant. Amazing Akshit. Awesome. Who else? All of you
Struggling
should
Anand.
tell. Sorry?
Struggling Anand.
Struggling Anand. Why are you struggling, first of all, Anand? You should tell me an adjective from A, but I really hope you are not struggling.
Yeah, struggling to keep my two value systems are there. One is right Anand and another is wrong Anand. So wrong Anand
okay, that's good. Right Anand and wrong Anand are fighting inside you.
Yes.
That is the struggle. Good.
Yes.
But amazing, Akshit. Determined Susan. Susan, can you give me an adjective starting from yes? Cool, Narendra. Narendra, I'm happy you're cool, but I think all of you should understand. So, Swati, satisfied Swati, I said, because first alphabet of my name is S.
Oh, achha.
So, can you give me with an adjective starting from the first letter of your name? Kinetic Karthik. I don't know. Some of whoever. Yeah, you should go because you have gone through this course already for 3 days. So, what are a couple of aspects of personality that you want to learn? You will realize how much personality really means so many things. Others, please be on mute. Joyful Jeevan, amazing, very good Jeevan. I think you have mastered personality development if you could be joyful in these times. Very good. Talented Tanushri, amazing. Yeah, we will really hope to see your talents someday, Tanushri. Who else? Very enthusiastic Maha, brave Banu Prakash, wonderful. Creative Shailesh, calm Sumita, active Ajay. Okay, I hope you are now getting to know how many aspects of personality are really there, right? Sometimes when we talk about a topic, it feels like, okay, we just will master our personality, we'll develop our personality, go to a course, see what we can do. It's a lifelong process because we have to learn to be so many things. And what should we really learn to be? If all of us are trying to be so many things and we like that aspect of ourselves, or like Anant beautifully said, we are always struggling. Today I might be satisfied, tomorrow I might be not. I don't know. So how do we really master ourselves to have the same kind of personality, to really hope that our personality is beneficial both to us and ourselves all through the day? This is something we'll try to learn in this course. I'll mostly be sharing my experiences from the field. And like Swamiji said, he asked me to talk on the topic of Seva. So it will be more of Seva. So just to start with, to give you an introduction of where this whole thing fits in, just spare a thought for a while. In a way, if you think there are about 100 plus people here, 111, the number I can see, all of us are, we kind of belong to a very comfortable generation. I mean, think of just two things I put here as the cell phone and internet, for example. Many people I meet now on the field say, we don't know what we would have done if there was no cell phone or internet in these times. One is, of course, for working from home. But the other thing is also, just to feel that you yourself are connected. Just as of today, our apartment became a micro-containment zone, for example. We can't go out even to our own gate. We can't probably talk to our neighbors. We have to just be caught at home. And this part of our lives is making us feel connected because of the presence of probably the cell phone or the internet. This is one side where we think we are leading very comfortable lives. The question I want to put to you is this also really keeping our lives happier? Because ultimately, whatever we try to do is to lead a happy life, right? If you think of a goal, of course, there's a purpose in life. But whether it's work or a degree or earning, ultimately, you're feeling we have to somewhere be happier. But the question we also have to ask ourselves is, are we really happier? What we attach to these comforts that, okay, I'm going to get this house, I'm going to get this car. They might be necessities and it's sometimes good to have all of them, work towards them. But is it what is keeping us happier all through our lives? That's a question that we have to ask to understand the spirit of Seva and what actually is its role in the world. So I will just show you a picture. I mean, this is very common. Many times on the road, you might see a child cycling and say, let this not happen, but the child falls down. What's your first reaction? Anybody? Anybody can say, what's your first reaction if you see a child fall on the road?
We'll just get up him,
You'll just try to wake him up, right?
wake him up. Yes, ma'am.
To lift him up.
To lift him up. Okay. Yeah. So all of us, before we do, that's the instant thing which comes out. And like you all said, you'll try to lift him up without even thinking about it, without probably even consciously, we try to go help the child. So why do we do this? Because this is innate human nature, right? It's within all of us. When we think of service or seva, all of you are saying you lift him up. So why don't we then do this when we see other problems in the society? A simple thing which occurs always is that we might see someone falling and you're trying to lift him up. But many times we see some accidents happening, somebody falling down. We are trying to honk and get away from there because we are getting late to work or to home. But this is the thought we have to give about that our innate nature is to serve, to connect with others. What does this also tell us? I mean, from the time of our Upanishads or Vedas or very old times or anywhere in the world, we all realize we are very interconnected, especially since a small virus has shown us now. And this concept of oneness, you saw a child fall, you didn't even immediately think of name, who is that child? Your heart just said, and you went to pick the child up because you saw oneness there. All of us are one. And the root cause today of many ills that are happening is this lack of inclusive consciousness. When I said without your consciousness, you just go to pick up and you feel for the child, you feel for everybody. Just look through the day. The day you're happiest is when you've done some small thing for someone. Today, man's life has become so self-centered because we are busy, we are caught in work, we think it's enough if we do that. So we are so self-centered that I keep joking that lift buttons, you're not even waiting because somebody's running. I want to save those 30 seconds and get home, like I'll change the whole world then. Honking. We don't even give a simple thought, a small thought of somebody in front of us, a vehicle, somebody needs help, maybe their car has broken down, maybe they're not feeling well, we just keep honking. Even in terms of COVID, I saw when we go to a store or something, if you have to go, there are people making videos of somebody who is not following rules. Is your first instinct to tell them that, okay, sir, please follow the rules, remind them, or your first thing is to judge them and start taking videos and post it somewhere? So where is this inclusive consciousness gone? That everybody is one. So today that self-centeredness is leading to a lot of root causes. I mean, you see, that's the cause of frustration and lack in our personality. When we say personality development, for me, like Vivekananda says, he says manifestation of everything is within yourself. Whether it's divinity, whether it's perfection, it's all within you. But it has been clouded by a lot of things. So personality development is more of taking away all those ills. And we have to go back to realizing that we are all together. So I think Ramana Maharshi puts that beautifully. When somebody asked him, how are we supposed to treat others? He says, there are no others. As long as you see the world as he is different, she is different, I am different, it is others. The way you have to see the world is that we are all one. Then you will feel happy in everybody's happiness. Like, okay, I didn't get something good in life today, but my neighbor won a prize. Maybe my neighbor's daughter got a rank. I mean, you're happy with what everybody is doing, right? And this is exactly what Vivekananda also meant when he said expansion is life. When he said expansion is life, it is when you start seeing every one person, starting with maybe your own parents, sister, husband, children, all of us, it's the same thing. You know, you say Isha Vasya Vidam Sarvam, or whatever we put it as in the context of our own rituals or practices that we have. Expansion is life. So he says it is our privilege to be allowed to be charitable. Swamiji started with saying how we can't help but only serve people. So the people who serve, that is, if we are doing seva for anybody, we should think that we are privileged rather than being very proud of, you know, that we have done something. So because he is giving us a chance to serve and grow, right? So Swamiji says, how do you ensure this oneness? He says, Shiver Jnane Jiver Seva. We have to see that Shiva or the Lord back of every being and just keep giving, right? So there are no others. Now, this is what it means by Seva being a means of self-transformation. If you keep asking just as a philosophy, say, how do I really then realize this? It all seems good on paper or on a presentation. Oneness, interconnected, inclusive consciousness. But is it so easy on a daily basis because we get angry with someone didn't do something we liked or they hurt us? And we are trying to see oneness there. Oh, oneness, they are not others. Let them do anything to me. So how do you really practice this on a daily basis? So in Kali Yuga, they say bhakti is one of the best ways to reach God. Keep singing bhajans and everything. And one sure short way is karma yoga or seva, where you get into the practice of serving everybody, because then you're not seeing bad in the person. You're just seeing that there's a need and they've given me a chance to serve and I do what I can, right? So this is the whole point of seva being the best means of self-transformation, right? So having been engaged in a couple of years in some service activities, having engaged volunteers, now what are some of the lessons we can learn from seva, right? That is what I'll try to focus on. So the first thing everybody says when you think of service seva is the joy of giving. Like I said, you see that child, you want to give, felt like lifting the child. All of you can do a homework. Maybe we don't have time in this session, but when this session is over today, maybe after dinner, when you lie down, if you're writing a diary every day, a journal, just think who is the happiest person according to you, right? And think what are the choices they made in life. I'm not saying successful per se, because as soon as we say success, we think of people who have achieved a lot, but happiest. Also think of what has been your happiest moment in the last 1 week. Whenever we do this exercise, people come up with an instance where they've done something for the sake of anybody. Maybe as small as somebody in my neighbor's family, like Swamiji was saying, was quarantined, so I gave them food. Or I called a friend who was feeling very low and spent some time listening to her. Every single act is so important. But what you will realize is that your happiest moment has been when you've done something for somebody else and not really for your own self. It goes back to show how much again connected we are and how selfless is our internal nature. But the only thing you have to do here is you have to make it a habit. I see a lot of social media, when I see a lot of profiles nowadays, people, when they say hobby, they write painting, music, dance, volunteering. Doing seva can't be a hobby. It's not. Hobby is something you're trying to, even for example, dance, music, arts, I feel needs a lot of more focus. It's not just hobby, but it really needs that passion. But especially seva can't become a hobby. It's not something you do just because you have free time. You do it because you like to do it. You might do it during your free time, but it's not a hobby. You have to make this point of giving a habit, right? Every time you have to think of, can I do something for someone? Can I do some small act? It could be anything. It could just be a lot of you might have elders in your own places where you are living and their children might be far away. Have you gone and asked them if they went for vaccination? Do they need some help? It starts small, but once we start doing that, that's how the society starts helping each other and every problem doesn't get concentrated, right? The second thing you learn from seva is patience. I mean, we many times when people start volunteering, they just go teach a child for a couple of days and they want to see the child getting, double, triple marks. Doesn't happen. How many things change in a day or two? I keep joking with people in many sessions that can you change your toothpaste from one to another from tomorrow? Just because I'm telling you. Small practices that we have in life, we can't change. And we are expecting the society to change just because we went and gave 1 hour a week or 2 hours a week. So Seva teaches you that patience. Maybe this is something you can also learn if you read a lot of our history in our freedom struggle. Subhash Chandra Bose said it is not necessary who will leave, to see India free. It's just important that my motherland is free. I may not be there, you may not be there to see her free. That's the kind of dedication and patience they worked with. That's the kind of patience it needs. In our lifetime, will everything change in the world? No. But can we leave it better than how it was when we came into the world? That patience Seva teaches you. I think all of you would have heard about the story of a starfish, where a son and father are walking, and a monk who is coming, he keeps taking out some starfish from the seashore and keeps throwing them into the sea. So this father and son ask him, you've been throwing, but look at the number of starfish. There are thousands and lakhs. What difference does it really make if you are able to throw back 1 or 2 or 5 per day? He says, I made a difference for that one starfish. I made a difference for that one starfish. I may not be able to do for 1,000, but I made it for one. Even that is a difference. So this is something we have to realize, that patience comes with seva. Especially in the current times, it's so important. All of us thought the worst was behind us, right? When the first wave went away, the vaccines were working. And suddenly from last 2 weeks, we're seeing so much splurge of cases and people are feeling sad, they're depressed, they're dejected, they're frustrated. We need patience to get through this and we should all be connected. So we have to remember that starfish story and that patience Seva really teaches, because things change maybe by a minuscule bit and it takes time, right? And so this is a real picture from a slum of Hyderabad. One of my favorite pictures in all the dozen years that I have been involved in this field. This is in a slum, where as soon as all of you think of a slum, what's your picture? Some poor place, filthy place, dirty place where no simply people are fighting, probably drinking, and this is what children there were doing. They went to school, they came back, no place in their homes. The amount of space we all are using to sit now to attend this session, maybe that is all the space they have in their home all together for all members. But these children never cribbed. When I went there, they said, Akka, take a photo of us. And they got their book, they got their slate, they were doing, some children are carrying an old cloth bag, some used plastic bag. But look at the happiness on their faces. They were just happy, they were able to study, they came there to do homework and they were sitting and writing. This one instance and many like this have taught me so many lessons in life. I think first one is about contentment. Irrespective of all that we have, how much do we grip in life? It's never enough. We keep wanting more. Every time we want more. Even now, I think the best blessing we have is if we are safe at home with so many different privileges that we have, all the facilities. But we are not contented. We want to do something else. I was part of a helpline of people who were home isolated because they had just traveled, not necessarily tested positive, but whenever they came from an outside city, they had to be at home. And we were supposed to call, as part of this helpline, we were supposed to call all these people after 14 days, find out if they had symptoms and, give them the other guidelines. Many people, as soon as we called, said, oh, 14 days are over. Can I go out now? I'm so fed up at home. I mean, is this the attitude that we have? That we might still affect others, but all we thought was 14 days are over, that then we can just go out. So how contented we can be with whatever we have. And these children teach us the best lessons. You have to indulge in that seva to realize how much they actually teach us. Swamiji, that's why he says it is not them, but we who will be bettered by doing seva. And that's the whole context of this course, and especially today. That seva, you may not believe, we always think we are going to change the world, change the nation, change the society, but we are actually changing ourselves. We become so much better than what we were, and we learn so many things, right? So contentment is one lesson you really learn from this children. The other one is gratitude. I mean, if these children can study with all that, we look for a study table in a proper position. Where is the lighting? Am I getting proper air? What direction of light? I mean, look at where they're studying, making the best of what they have. I think they have taught me the best lessons in life. So that gratitude for whatever we have, that comes when you start going on the field. Because you're always seeing these people you're serving as, I hate that word that we say, beneficiaries. Or they're not just recipients, they're such treasures. You learn so much from them, more than you actually give back, right? And the third best thing is that you understand the ground realities. Many times sitting at home and seeing whatever is shown on media, we have a lot of misconceptions about what India is, about what everything is. For example, in government schools, I've seen some teachers taking special classes as early as 4 a.m. in the morning. One of the teachers I met in Jagadgiri Gutta near Kukatpalli, right in Hyderabad, he used to go to every girl student's home, get them to school along with him so that they're secure, and take special classes for them in 10th standard. So these are things which probably never make it to any media, and we keep saying government school, government this thing, government that thing, but you have to see the kind of people working there. And of course, like Swamiji said, India itself, this is one favorite crib that we have. Oh, India is like this, we can't do anything. Even recently, I saw somebody, as soon as they posted one person without helmet, they said, this is India. This is India. We blame India so much, but you have to see the India unseen. I mean, I've been fortunate to travel all over India almost for different projects, and the kind of wonderful people I've met who have been doing Seva for even as much as 30, 40 years, which is more than half or three-fourths of their life. And the kind of lives people lead, you should see how much we can learn. So the Seva teaches you these ground realities, actually, that we always think everything is negative there and we can go make it positive, but we actually can learn so much from them. And these are some things, that you could start learning from them. Right. And one of the major things I wanted to bring about, because a lot of you are youth here, and even for everybody else, most of the times we are all concerned about too many wrong things happening in the world. I mean, we mostly get to know the wrong things and we feel bad. Yes, if I ask you right now, for example, what concerns you the most in the world? Some of you might say inequality, some of you might say lack of education, some of you might say dowry, others might say health problems. Of course, there are a lot of areas of concern. But the problem is we stop there. And we feel so frustrated seeing the problems around us because we are not acting on them. It's just this broad circle of concern that they call, right? Where there are 100 problems. What's the best way when you have too much work or a problem? Forget everything and go sleep. That's better, right? We can forget all of it. We can sleep over it and we can feel, okay, the world is good because I'm not able to see or feel anything. And for those couple of hours, we feel that we are away from everything. So this brings about a lot of frustration, this inaction that is there. And inherently, all of us are definitely concerned about it. But what you have to do is you have to convert it into the circle of influence, right? So the circle of concern is always this big. Everybody, we are all worried about many things. COVID time, for example, there's no oxygen, there is no remdesivir, there is no lack of plasma, there is no food, there are no beds in hospitals. This is all our circle of concern. But we have to get into that small circle of influence. Can I make a difference in any of this? Unless we do that, it doesn't matter. You'll just be more frustrated, you will become more dejected, you'll add to the problem by being, very depressed people instead of concerned people. So that frustration is broken by doing Seva. So when you come to the circle of influence, you start feeling optimistic. So for example, I'll tell you, a lot of people ask us, what is the use of doing Seva? Still so many children get married at a very young age. We have seen that when volunteers go to schools and we teach, many of the volunteers, they come across one or two girls who definitely drop out of school because they're getting married. We are all scared of summer vacations. That's why as soon as there is a break, the girls are taken out of school for something. But volunteers, because they have been committed to that cause, they've gone to those parents, told them, I will teach them, please don't get them married. So again, like the starfish, we did the difference we could make. All of us together, we can make a big difference. Each of us can make a small thing, but we should not stop doing that because we feel it's a small part of the thing, right? So this kind of coming to do Seva, instead of being frustrated about everything, it makes you optimistic. Now that we are working for a lot of COVID support, for example, we are taking elder people for vaccination. We are trying to arrange plasma if required. We are trying to arrange hospital beds, oxygen cylinders. We have no time to be frustrated really, because we are also seeing every case that is getting treated. That's a part of feeling positive for yourself. That's a part of getting you out of that frustration. So this is another huge change Seva is going to bring in you. You will start feeling optimistic. You will start acting on something rather than just giving it a thought, being frustrated about it, meditating on it. We see so many problems on the TV. We keep thinking, why is the world like this? Why did I even come to this world, right? So that goes out because of Seva. So you start always from, I keep saying this, what are they doing? That's the question we usually ask, right? What are they doing? So many problems in the world. What is the politician doing? I elected him. What are the elected officials doing? What is that department doing? How about asking the question, what am I doing? Why are we never asking that question of what am I doing? Of course, we can say I've paid taxes, I've elected, but there are other things you can do. Like around our own surroundings, probably a lot of people are doing now, no? Supplying meals to homes in isolation and so on. So just make the small change. That is what Seva is about, that people make that leap from what are they doing to what am I doing, right? And you will see the transformation for yourself. And you can see a lot of examples of people who have done this. Last time, I think during Viven Nari Shakti, Swamiji had a seminar. I was giving example of one of the volunteers I met. Usually, a lot of volunteers come to meet us and discuss what they can start doing. So once I got a call from a lady in Hyderabad again. I just give a lot of examples from Hyderabad because I worked for many years there. She called me and she asked me many questions like, how big is the elevator in your office building? Does it have a ramp? how many floors up is your office? No, these are not usual questions volunteers ask me when they call me first to come to our office. They mostly ask what time you're available, can we come and meet you, kind of thing. So I answered her questions, but I was, of course, like anybody, curious as to why is she asking so many questions. You will be very amazed. And when she actually came, I saw she came in almost a modified Tata Winger, because this lady had met with an accident, and she was paralyzed neck down. She was paralyzed neck down, right? And she was on not even a wheelchair, a whole stretcher. That's why she had asked for a ramp. And she came out of a winger, that stretcher, and then we had to get her into the elevator, and she came to the office. But all the 1 hour I sat with her, she never made me feel, that I have to pity her or look at her. The kind of eagerness she had, the kind of enthusiasm, the way she wanted to give back to the society, it was something, it could give you goosebumps and nothing else, right? And sometimes when we suffer so much, we start thinking, if the world is so bad to us, why should I do something? But imagine this lady was here. She only her neck and above could work, and she's coolly telling me, hey Swati, you know what? I may not be able to do too many things, but I can do telecalling, I can do motivation sessions for some of your volunteers, for some students. I can tell them life doesn't end, and I really want to do something. So make use of me however you want. These are the kind of people I met. There were somewhere students in a blind hostel in Dilshuk Nagar, and they once asked me, Akka, why do you always ask what we want? Tell us what we can do for the society. And these boys were visually challenged. They said, tell us what we can do for the society. Why do you always keep supporting us and serving us and doing something for us? Tell us what we can do. We want to give back. I mean, you should just think of, if people are in that aspect, that they are feeling that I want to give back, what is really stopping us? I think Vivekananda put it beautifully. He said, everybody can show what evil is. It's very easy to point fingers, find mistakes. As volunteers, we have to fail many times. We can't meet every need that comes to us. Just yesterday night, somebody called me that no lab is testing their whatever samples they had. So I had to do something. With all the struggle, we couldn't immediately get them a lab. It took time. But that is how it is. But you can't keep pointing fingers and cribbing. He is a friend of mankind who finds a way out of this, Swami Vivekananda says. And Seva is a sure shot way which helps you root your energy, channelize your energy like that. That I'm feeling very helpless about something. Rather than thinking of the big problem, I will think of what can be my intervention in this problem. Can I do whatever I can? Right? The beautiful example we give in India, all of you might know, is of Alilu Seva, we say in Kannada. There might be a counterpart in every language, because Alilu is squirrel, and of course Seva, So a small squirrel is supposed to have carried a small stone when Rama was building the bridge. The Vanar Sena was building the bridge so that Rama could get Sita from Lanka. Now, the squirrel didn't really think of what can my small stone do, but it thought I can add to the bridge, right? So that Alilu Seva, we say all of us can play a part in it. So I think, like I said, a lot of groups you can find now making meals for the isolated. This is a group called Team Stegi in Bangalore. Free meals. They're making clean, nutritious meals. They're saying only pay for the delivery. Anybody who is home isolated, you'll get door delivery. And every morning, every night. So this is, instead of being frustrated about whole thing, channelizing their energy to do something. I think this is one of the major things you can learn through Seva, right? And again, example that I often quote, Swamiji said, I served in Uttarakhand during the floods. And here is a man whom I remember after 8 years. I was there in Uttarakhand in 2013 when there was such floods that you can't even imagine the impact. We could see borewells dug down more than 15 feet deep, which means the road had collapsed that much. We just had to go everywhere carrying our luggage on our back, trekking up. And this man, his name is Chattar Singh Ji, he carried a lady who had heart attack on his back down the mountains so that she could get treatment, because there were no roads, ambulance couldn't reach anywhere. He carried her on his back broke in the process. He took a long time to recover. But all he says, I thought at that time was, how can I save this one life? She had a heart attack and she immediately needed hospitalization. He ran with her on her back all through till he reached the hospital, right? And this is again a lady teacher called Yashodaji. She was teaching in a school. What is there behind you can see is a school where we also lived when we went there. And since there were no roads, right, and the school was damaged, they put up a makeshift school somewhere. She used to walk walk is trekking in the hilly regions. You can see the regions. 15 kilometers every day just to teach those 4 or 5 children who were there so that their education is not halted. And these are the kind of people we have. And so Chatar Singh ji or Yashoda ji should teach us a lot. And for a lot of time we get pride, right? Small things that we do. Many times even Bodhma Anandji keeps saying, just clearing our wardrobes and giving our clothes. We think we are doing so much. We gave away our clothes, we gave one day's food to someone, we gave a ride. These people have been doing it for years. This humility is one of the lessons that Seva definitely teaches you. Because you think you work for 10 years and then somebody introduces them and says, I've been doing this for 40 years, right? And what am I really? That's what you feel, so grounded and humble in front of them. And they've done so much more. That's the feeling you always get. It of course urges you, encourages you to do more, and you also feel grounded at the same time, right? And you can go on and on about what Seva can do for your personality like this. But given that how much time we have, and I had to see what are the important points I could put, I wanted to just cover a small few more things. So I've just collapsed the last three. Most people say that they have discovered themselves by doing Seva. I mean, it could be as small as some people telling us, I had stage fear, but because I started teaching children, I overcame that fright. My students used to tell me, tell us whatever you want, we will see that you don't feel afraid. And they became great speakers. And so many people have actually discovered their talents like that. A lot of people said talented, multi-talented in the adjectives. So many people have discovered themselves like that. What do I really like to do? What is my passion in life? It's not necessary that all of you give away your jobs and start doing seva. A couple of us have to do that, but all of us have to give some time. So I also meet volunteers. There are a lot of our volunteers who went into civil services later. They volunteered for some time. They visited many places in India where service happens, and they say that encourage them to also get into civil services so that they can bring about top-down policy level change. So you actually discover what you want to do when you get into Seva field, because you're seeing so many aspects of the field. You are seeing what all is required on the ground. So you decide what you really want to become, right? And then the sustainable and altruistic way of living. There are, you won't believe how many volunteers have quit smoking and things like that when they started volunteering. What happened once was we were doing a lot of health awareness sessions in slums. And of course, a lot of volunteers were teaching these children about hygiene and different things. So one girl comes out after 2-3 days after that session, next session, and says, you all tell so much, but I saw one Anna smoking after the class. So how does that person feel? I mean, he said, I was telling these children to do something. And couple of people even joked that we are teaching them to brush their teeth twice a day and we don't do it ourselves. So people change because they want to practice before they preach. And Seva actually helps you, makes you lead that sustainable way of life, because a lot of people give away their whatever activities they have over weekends, when usually, right, especially after the corporate culture, weekend culture has come in India. Saturday, Sunday, everybody is doing something, getting together, going to dine out. Nothing wrong, but there are people now who are not doing that all day but coming to do seva instead. So it makes you lead a different way of life. It's not always about immersing yourself in enjoyment. You find enjoyment by other means. And it again connects back, if I have to connect it to Swamiji, he says Tyaga and Seva. Seva always needs some amount of Tyaga. You have to renounce some way of your life. Some of us had to give away our whatever we had, a cushy job or the pay that we had to come here. But it helps you develop that, and you realize that was not really the most important thing in life at all. It's a necessity, but not the most important thing. I think the major thing people learn in Seva is you're part of one big family. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam might be so difficult to understand as a concept, but I can tell you in all the 11, 12 years that I've traveled all over India, I've not stayed in a single hotel or a lodge or a hostel or anything. It's always been people who have hosted me, wherever it is. Tribals of Araku or some home in Delhi of a very well-known donor, anybody, or a slum, they're always ready to share what they have. I sometimes ask them, they say, if you have come here, you have to have dinner with us. And I say, it's okay. You have prepared so much. What will you do? Said, even in that, we'll share with you, but we can't send you away just like that. So what else could be the definition of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam? It's so easy then to understand. Everybody is your family. And that again brings you back to Swamiji's lesson of oneness. You start feeling everybody's yours. And then you have no time to fight, be angry, anything. That's the way Seva develops your personality, right? And to summarize all that I've said, I think if I would have asked all of you, because I asked you to put adjectives, I read some of them, I'll read more of them definitely, but so many in a personality, right? We said, Swamiji says, what is an ideal human personality? It's harmonious development of these faculties. Three, he says, 3H. It is head to think, heart to feel, and hands to work. Most of the times, like we have discussed, head to think is that circle of concern. We think about so many things, but what we call as armchair revolutionaries. I keep teasing, that's why I don't have arms on my chair, so that I don't become one. So that head to think, we stop at that. And most times we have the heart to feel. We say, oh, Papa, oh, sad. But we are clueless as to what to do. Swamiji says ideal human personalities when you also channelize those two to your hands to work. You've thought a lot, you're feeling about it. Start doing something small. So if you have to really become an ideal personality according to Swamiji, we have to see that these 3Hs are in sync. I think that summarizes all of what Seva is, right? So many more examples you could think on this. But one major thing I wanted to leave you with after this. Many times Seva brings a lot of ego and pride. Like I said, for example, when I quit my job, a lot of people patted my backs. They said, wow, it takes so much courage. It takes that, it takes this. You quit your job. The reality was that I didn't do any sacrifice. I was just doing what was giving me more happiness. And that is when a lot of mentors like Swami Bodhmayananji and others told me, people will keep patting your backs, but don't feel proud about it. What you have to really do is listen, yes, say thank you, but you have to keep yourself grounded. Because you can always feel proud that just because I quit my job. So another person told me, now that you quit your job, you have full time to do seva, but you also have full time to spoil everything else in the society. Because you're thinking you have more time and you could go either way. You can be an advantage, you can be a disadvantage. So the act of giving, like karma yoga, what Swamiji calls it as, and any yoga that Bodhmayananji also spoke about, right? Karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, devotion, duty, and psychic and jnana yoga also, philosophy. Each of them have pros and cons. And the point of karma yoga is that pride which comes with it. That the very fact that we are speaking about all this oneness, I saw God in everybody, that sometimes brings in so much pride. We feel so proud of ourselves, right? We get that kind of ego because people are being grateful to us, they're praising us, and a lot of things happening. And especially with social media, people want to share stories. And when volunteers asked me, should I share what I've done? Is it okay? Or people will feel afraid. I said, as long as you know in your heart that you're only doing it to motivate others and not to feel proud of yourself, it's okay, right? But that aspect of giving is very, very difficult. How do we really curtail that? So I think we have to carry this lesson again, what has come to us from times immemorial. We always sing this song. I don't know how many of us have thought about it so much. I've just taken 4 lines, but Vaishnava Janato Tene Kahiye Je, Peed Parai Janere, Paradukke Upukar Kare Doye, Mana Abhimanana Anere. This was written by Bhakti poet Narsingh Mehta. So when somebody asks him, he says, what is Vaishnava? It's not like you're all the time sitting and just praying God, anything like that. Who is that Vaishnava? He is the one who understands the pains of others. But what is more beyond that is when he helps or more serves those who are in those pains, he will not let any pride get to his mind. Right? I served 100 meals. You feel good, you feel satisfied about it. Others will definitely pat your back. Accept even that appreciation and gratitude and just offer it to the Lord. That you have, Swamiji himself says, Swami Vivekananda being so great, he says, I am just an instrument of change. My Guru used me as an instrument of change. I am just grateful for it, not proud of it. Right? So we have to remember this song that we should never let that ego get to our minds. There's again in Taittiriya Upanishad the very beautiful thing. How do you give? Very simple. It's a Shraddhaya Deyam. Give with faith. Never give it out. I don't know, I'm giving this 500 rupees, but I don't know if it really helps. What can be done with it? Give with the faith that whatever you're giving is going to work. So never give without faith. And give in plenty. When it's a plenty, it is not like all of us have to give too much. We might not even have. Plenty is different for each. But again, bringing back a practice in India, all of you would have observed, right? Especially elders in your home. They give amounts in terms of 101, 501, 1000, or 1001. Why do we do this? In India, the practice has always been, if I'm able to give 500, I will try to give 1 rupee more than that. I'll try to do something more than what I can really do or what I can really afford. So that is the thing that you have to carry. That's the idea that you have to carry when we say giving plenty, and give with modesty again, no vanity about, oh, I gave it to them and I just did it. They all had clothes. It's very nice. I did this for them, right? Be happy and grateful about it, but give it with that modesty. It also says bhiya deyam, give with fear. So what is fear? Actually, it says you have to have the fear of recognition and also of not being enough. Should always, this fear here is more sattvic fear. Oh, I hope that what I've done is enough. That is the kind of thought you have to carry. And most importantly, samvida deyam. Give it not with sympathy but compassion or empathy. Now, when we give and we start doing seva for self-transformation, mostly all of us try, hit this obstacle of feeling that ego about it or feeling very proud of what we have done. So that's something we have to hit with this lessons about act of giving. I think that should put a lot of just some experience that I had. I tried to put some things into perspective. I'm sure all of you had such experiences. I think that is what I had. Maybe we have another 10 minutes. So if any of you have any questions or even any comments or you want to share some such experience you have had, I would be happy to listen to them. So I think Hari Nandan has a question. There are many people who take kindness as weakness. How to defend ourselves from such people? If we feel like seva, kindness, I mean, if they deem it as weakness, it doesn't mean it is really weakness, Hari Nandan. I would say you don't waste your time on defending. You don't have to defend what is true. Most of the time, people who get into defend something are people who feel something is wrong. The more you try to defend, they will bring in more things. So you tell them, you start doing it with me and tell me how strong it is making you feel. Why is kindness any day weakness? Not at all. But at the same time, if you feel they are taking advantage, you also be prudent in how you treat it, right? That is why if you see Swamiji at last, when I said 3H, he said head to think. Don't use only your heart to feel. Also use your head to think. If you feel something like that is happening, you should just try to combat that situation. But only thing I would say is don't defend what you're doing. There are many people who made fun of me also at this age. What is wrong that you're leaving your job? Are you mad? This is something you have to do after growing old. So I keep saying this, that when you're young, they say you have a lot of time in life. Once you retire, you do it. And after you retire, they say, oh, our life is over now. Our children have to do. So when is it you actually do something? So that is what you have to take. Yeah. Vishal Singh, what would be your advice for aspiring lawyers? Vishal, I would say my advice or suggestion to everybody is same. Have ethics or values as your base in whatever you do in life. Today, if we are seeing a lot of corruption or anything going wrong, it's because we are leaving that foundation and we are aiming at everything else. Success, everything should come. Swamiji himself says, be the best at anything you do, but always be having your roots very strong. Nowadays, we think having wings to fly is contrary to being rooted in Indianness or our ancient lessons. Unless your roots are very strong, you will keep flying without any direction. So be very grounded in values, but use your wings to fly. Wings are always there to fly. Keep achieving. But you have to bring that value system into any career or any profession you take. It could be lawyers or anything. Ma'am, what is the purpose of your life and how did you get to know? You should not ask me such tough questions. I don't know. I feel the purpose of everybody's life is to be of some service. It's more like a responsibility. Like they say, it's not charity, but it's responsibility. I mean, I give this exercise to youth sometimes in sessions I do in colleges that from morning, if you can make a list of whose all help you have taken or in various ways that people have served you. Imagine we are all sitting comfortably at home, but that milk vendor has to still see that milk reaches your home for you to have coffee tea. Imagine somebody getting vegetables for you. So many such people are working just because you can be leading a comfortable life. Look at the doctors. Look at the Paurkarmikas, the ones picking your garbage. I think we all have to salute them once this COVID thing is over. I mean, picking trash of all things in such a place where we are even scared what has fallen down where. So the purpose of all our life, I think again, Bodhman Anji keeps saying many times that the purpose of life should be to lead a life of purpose. So I think that is what all our purpose should be. Like Swamiji says, excellence. Achieve excellence, like all of your youth, students especially. You should aim at excellence. I should be best at whatever I am. Like Swamiji says, if you're a sweeper, be the best sweeper. Even Gandhiji echoed that. Be best at what you are. At the same time, give back to the society. You're a lawyer. Of course, have cases where you have to earn for your own living. But see if you could do some part of it for poor people who couldn't afford anybody. You're a doctor, do the same thing. I know many doctors now who are actually running free teleconsultation services. So these are some ways in which whatever you do in life, you have to see how can I give back to the society. What are the medical services done by Ramakrishna Mission and how to approach to be a part as an MBBS doctor? I think Bodhman Anji could definitely help you with that because Ramakrishna Mission Hyderabad itself has a clinic within its premises, right? They run a dispensary. So there are a lot of people there and you could definitely approach them. There are a lot of doctors actually serving in Ramakrishna Mission. Even otherwise, we have a movement called Doctors for Seva, where we engage doctors in Seva. Swamiji was mentioning about Kumbh Mela, where a lot of doctors from all over the world had come with me and we rendered free service to all the people who were attending Kumbh Mela, and this was like about 23 crores over a period of 45 months. That's the scale we are talking at. So, yeah. What is third H of H? So, Prashant, it is hands to work, head to think, heart to feel, and hands to work. Yeah, I think, okay, some more people have answered him. I think that's good. Those are the questions. I saw some more people raising hands. Rajesh, you have something to ask or share?
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah.
It's been a amazing last half an hour. It has made me change. See the things from a different perspective. Whatever I was thinking earlier. But ma'am, my question is, we all have felt this. We have in the past we have felt that people have misused your kindness or some bad people. So that made you think like why have I done that good to that bad guy. So that made you not to do that again. How do you go for?
Okay, the way I have told myself in life is as long as I'm doing good, I'm not bothered about whom I'm doing it for. I don't know if a person is bad or good, and I'm nobody to judge if a person is bad or good. I might also be bad to some people, I might be good to. See, good and bad are parts of our personality, right? We might also have done some bad act in life. So my first thing would be that you cannot never judge that somebody is completely a bad person. Maybe circumstances have made them. Second thing is, as long as you've done good, right, Rajesh, if you're getting a good night's sleep because of it, don't worry about what kind of a person he is. Just pray to God that that person can be corrected. Try to do any help you can, but don't be worried about serving anyone. When you're serving somebody, it is completely without any attachment or anything that you're expecting in return. That is when it is called as seva. As long as you expect something in return, it's always barter. If I'm expecting that I'm getting something out of what I'm doing, it is barter. Seva means you have no expectations. But I don't know what bad means. You could, of course, write to me later and we could see it in detail. But if you are getting a good night's sleep, again, all of you, if you could ask yourself and reflect, good night's sleep mostly becomes because of some good we have done. So irrespective of whom you have done the good for, don't be too worried about it. And I think a lot of questions, because they're coming on these lines, Swamiji says, whatever makes you feel weak, reject it as poison. So stop thinking about these things. Somebody is misusing my kindness. Take an informed decision. That's why I said 3H. Remember 3H. Maybe someday if you felt, I don't know, I'll give you an example of maybe misusing your kindness. If you feel that you went to give some free, something free, and somebody who, somebody who was not really in need of it took it. Fair enough. Don't give it to them. Next time give it to somebody else. Right? That is one of the ways. Sometimes what happens is, it happened during COVID when we distributed ration kits. Many people came back a second time. Will you call them bad? I don't know if you can call them bad. Maybe they thought if I get one more kit, I can sustain my life for one more week. But we told them very politely that we meant to give one kit for each family because we have to reach more families. Kindly do not do this. If you still feel they don't need your service, you do some more homework on who are really needy and then go give it there. That is the work of H. Right?
Yes.
Don't be very worried about it. As long as you're doing good thing, you should not really be worried about it.
Yes, ma'am. I understand now what the seva is at social level. But my question, my thing was more personal. If there's a good close person to us, and we had a good wife for him, and but we always ready to help him, but he then backstabbed, and you get to know, and you feel very bad at personal level.
Stay away, try to personally tell him that I felt bad that you did this and don't go next time. But what I'm trying to say, Rajesh, is don't allow it to make you weak. Sometimes I keep saying don't give your life in somebody's hands because we are more worried all day about who said something about us, what they did to us. As long as it's not affecting you negatively, Rajesh, don't be worried about it. Surrender it to God and say, I did my best to help that person, but this is what he did to me. Don't allow him to spoil your life. But more than that, if he's trying, if it's nothing else, he just did something, stop worrying about it. If you've done good, whatever you could, you have done it for him, stop worrying about it. And it's but natural. These are parts of life. We keep feeling bad about it, but best thing I would say is put up all these quotes of Swami Vivekananda. That's what I have in front. I keep saying whatever is makes you weak, reject it as poison. So anytime I get such thoughts, I say poison, reject it, reject it, reject it. So it's easy. Sometimes philosophy and such things are easy to learn, but how do you follow in life is difficult, right? So keep saying, hey, poison, I'm rejecting this. Poison, I'm rejecting this. If it's still going to harm your life, then act. I'll just, very less time, but I'll give you an example of something Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said, Vivekananda's guru, right? He was saying God is in everyone. And so one of the Shishyas and Guru, he shares an example. There is a person who is going and there is an elephant coming. And there is a mahout on the elephant, the one who is riding the elephant. So this mahout keeps telling this person, go away, the elephant will kick you. Go away, the elephant will kick you. But this person keeps saying, my guru has told me to see God in everybody. So the elephant is also God. It won't do anything to me. Elephant kicks him, he goes falls somewhere. So he comes and asks the guru, you told me God is everywhere and that elephant kicked me. So his guru says, elephant God kicked you, but the mahout God told you to stay away, right? Why didn't you then listen to mahout God? So that is where your head comes into place. That's why Swamiji so beautifully put it as head and heart. You can't take decisions completely rationally or completely emotionally. I hope this anecdote answered your question, Rajesh.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Oh, right, yeah. I don't know who is there from VIHC or how much time we have. So I don't know if we could go on with questions or we have to finish it. Somebody please let me know. If anybody else has a question, please unmute yourself and ask. I saw somebody else raising their hand. Somebody wants to tell me anything about the session also. Oh, we didn't get this. What are you talking? This is not Seva. That is also fine. I am open to it. Or any experience you want to share of what you have done. Unless somebody from VIHC stops us that our time is over.
No, ma'am. I think anyone can, like, we still have time. Yeah.
Oh, very good. Thank you. Yes. I saw one or two more hands being raised. I'm not sure I got the name, but I don't know if they've got their hands down now or. Ma'am, is there a way to contribute by teaching online in the pandemic? Yeah, we are trying to do a lot of online teaching, but the problem has been that most children do not really have resources to attend online classes, like say phones or laptops. But I think I've put my email ID here, Shruti. You can just write to me and I'll just try to talk to you and we can understand what exactly you're interested in, what you will be able to teach, what you're interested in teaching, and I'll try to connect you to a opportunity which matches both your interests and skills. So you can just take my email ID, anybody for that matter. It is swathi.yfs@gmail. So I think I can connect you to whatever you're interested in. I don't know if I missed any questions, so you could just unmute and ask. A lot of you have written, I don't know, charismatic, dynamic, Divyanshu, blissful, Banu, very nice. I think to see all positive parts of your personality. Can you repeat your email ID? Okay, I'm just putting my email ID here in the chat box also for everyone. So that all of you can just note it down and write to me whenever. So I think couple of you shared that you didn't see the screen. So I don't know. I'll just try to run through this thing again. Yeah, I think this was just the important pictures I could just show it to, because the other one were more in words, and probably I'll also send it to somebody in VIHE so that all of you could take the presentation. That is not a problem at all. I'll show you the people that I was talking about. So this is the starfish thing, and this is the picture I showed from the slum where the children were very happy, and it could teach us a lot of lessons and contentment, gratitude, and ground realities. Yeah. And again, this is what I spoke about. What are they doing versus what am I doing? And an example of Team Stegi, who are delivering free meals to people in home isolation. This is Chattar Singh ji, whom I was saying carried a lady who had suffered heart attack on her back. This is Yashoda ji, a teacher who treks 15 kilometers just to teach children every day. So, yeah, I think this was more of talking about three heads and what else Seva can get us. And this is about Vaishnava Janato and the Taittiriya Upanishad I spoke about. Just running very quickly because a couple of you have messaged, so none of you unmuted and spoke, so I couldn't see the chats. I'm very sorry for that, but yeah, so that is it. So I'll anyway share this thing. Good thoughts are never a property of anybody in the world, so all of you could use the presentation if you want. I'll send it to one of them in VIHE and they can share it with all of you. All right, I think that's it. I don't know if anybody else has any questions. Thank you for your time and being here. Over to whoever is there from VIHE and take this forward.
Thank you, ma'am. It's always great to listen to you. Every time you bring your speeches, it's always awesome to listen to you. Thank you so much, ma'am. A few announcements for the participants. This Sunday on 25th April, there is a music event organized by VIHE with Karthik Ramanji, a singer and composer of Bengaluru. To attend the event, you can mail to the office, that is hyderabad.vihe@rkmm.org. I'll also type it in the chat box. So you can get the mail ID from the chat box. So let us end this session with Shanti Mantras. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani paschyantu, ma kaschit dukha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.